Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and so excited to show you this one. Today I'm playing Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era, the upcoming game from Chip Theory. And disclaimer that they sent me pretty much a final version of the game, although some things will be changing for the final copies that go to backers and retail. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions. We actually did a review of Elder Scrolls recently, Peter and I, to give our initial thoughts. Or come and say hi and join the conversation on our Discord. So what I'm going to show today is as much as I can fit into one video of session 1 of a campaign of Elder Scrolls. Because how it works is you do one session that lasts up to 12 days of game rounds. And if you win that, you go to usually a different map because there's several different regions. Right now I'm in Skyrim. And you do another session with your leveled up characters and get even stronger. And if you win that one, you go to a final special end game with a few special encounters keyed to whichever region you ended up in. And if all goes well with this first playthrough, my plan is to do a second playthrough video that is of that final third act to show you kind of what the final boss fights look like. But yeah, the game is split between encounters and moving around this overland board. So each day you can move around, usually up to 3 hexes, although you can take fatigue to move farther. If you go to these towns, you can have a town encounter where you can buy items, rest, that kind of thing. If you go to the eyeballs, those are peaceful encounters where you can get a little bit of experience without putting yourselves in too much danger. If you go to the cross swords with the skull, those are clashes. You tend to get more experience from those, but they're also a lot tougher and can really tire your heroes out. And if you go to the little starburst ones, those are unstable encounters, and you're not sure what you're going to get. It might be peaceful, it might be a clash, and usually they're a little bit harder, but they also give you an extra reward. And each player controls one or more characters. I'm doing this one solo just because the game is pretty long and complex, so even though I've been mostly two-handing when I've been playing off-camera, I thought just filming a solo playthrough would be a lot easier. And this time I'm starting out with a wood elf archer who is specialized in the bow. I'm honestly not quite sure which direction I'll go from there because this is a game with a lot of flexibility in how you level up. I'm thinking I'll do stealth archer, but maybe I'll do like a melee archer combo or like an archer with armor. I'm not sure yet. But all the things here are your main stats and skill dice and things. I think these little plastic holders are an add-on, but they are really nice. Basically, you can put a little top on them and then just save your character for later. Definitely a cool thing. And as I do encounters, I'll be gaining experience, and then I can spend it to get more skill dice. I can go to trainers to learn new skill trees to train into. I can upgrade my stats, and then when I'm in combat, I'll be using these dice, and they'll be going down here on this little cooldown meter, and I'll get a number of dice equal to my cooldown tracker back each turn, so right now that's 2. And you can, of course, also level up your cooldown. And then you'll also be getting from different results, usually from dice that miss tenacity. And you can spend your tenacity to activate different character abilities that are based on the class you chose. So those are kind of the basics. I'll explain all the actual rules for the game as we go, but let's get to setting up our quest. So first you pick a region. Like I said, I'm doing Skyrim because that's the last Elder Scrolls video game that I played. Skyrim actually has an eastern and a western side. For now, I have it on the eastern. And then you draw 3 guilds from the set of, how many is it? 9 guilds in the game. And each of these guilds is going to have its own unique quest line in the region you're in. So this is the Gazetteer, the main book for Skyrim. And I look up, okay, let's see, Dark Brotherhood. If I choose to do that guild for this first session, I'll be playing The Day the Jarl Died. Or if I pick the Undaunted guild, I'll be playing Blackreach Reaches Back. And this is actually the one I'm going to pick because it involves going into a delve, and I want to show you what a peaceful encounter and a clash encounter and a delve, just sort of like a little dungeon crawler encounter all look like. So let's get a little narrative set up. It's pretty quick, and then I'll tell you what the special rules are for this one. Blackreach is one of the most dangerous locations of all of Tamriel, but its vast subterranean caverns are a prime destination for treasure hunters capable of braving their perils. You arrive in Riften bearing the instructions of Maj al-Ragath, the Undaunted's crafty Redguard pledgemaster, who wants you to create a competitive advantage for fellow Undaunted looking to scour Blackreach for treasure. Your job will be to enter Blackreach via a secret passage under an old inn called the Grinning Horker. Then you are to place beacons at various intervals throughout as much of Blackreach as you can. In the future, these beacons can be activated by travelers bearing an enchanted Undaunted sigil, providing light and a true path back to the surface. Placing the beacons will be easy enough, but Blackreach's treacherous reputation is well earned. Who knows what you'll run into down there? And then they give an overview of what the special encounters for this one will be. So I'm starting down in Riften, and I need to go to the Grinning Horker all the way up here. And when I get there, instead of having a regular encounter, I'll have a special delve where I'll be putting out those beacons they mentioned. And the quest gives you a suggestion of when you should do that by to kind of keep on pace to finish the entire quest, because you only have 12 days, which are marked by this cool day spinner. But the other main thing is the experience tracker. We start with 2 experience as regular characters. And if you've played Too Many Bones, this is what's used to determine how many enemies you're fighting, not the day. You multiply your current experience by the number of characters in the game. So if I have a fight right now, I would fight 2 times 1, 2 points worth of enemies. But like later on, this is how high you get when you're in the end game, for example. Later on, if I'm at like 33 and I'm playing 3 characters, I would fight 99 points worth of enemies. And enemies go from 1, 5, 10, and 20 point values. And kind of like Too Many Bones, you always take the highest value you can. But yeah, here we are, day 1, 2 experience. And if I have not completed all parts of the quest line by the end of day 12, then I fail. So going here, I should do by day 4, they said, which means I'll have some other stuff to do before I actually finish up near day 12. And a quick thing to note, because you might immediately ask, and I thought this too, why would you ever want to gain experience? Because you're just going to make your life harder. But the thing is, the ending encounter at the end of each act, at the end of each session, has its own experience value based on your difficulty, and it doesn't care how much experience you've earned. So you want to level as much as you can, because those final fights are generally the hardest in the game, and if you're under-leveled, you're going to die. But yeah, so I need to get here generally by day 4, and usually you can move up to 3 a turn, and you want to be like finding good encounters along the way. So we'll figure out a path in a second. But let's get into actually beginning the game and talk you through what one day looks like. So first you mark your day, but you don't need to do that on the first day, but like tomorrow I'll go to 2, then to 3, etc. Then you get to move over land. You can move up to 3 spaces, and then you can move more with each fatigue you take. Fatigue are negative gray cubes like this that just sit in your cooldown track and kind of take up space and waste your cooldown to get rid of them. And then, like I said earlier, wherever you land, that'll determine your encounter. If you land on a nothing space, you've basically wasted a day, so don't do that. Now, each map has a special mechanic. The Skyrim one is that some of the cities are under siege from a mysterious force. So at the end of each day, we're going to see what symbol is on a peaceful encounter. You'll see how that all works. And that'll determine for the next day which cities are under siege. So like, I don't know, if we got this 3rd symbol here, then that would mean Riften and Shorestone and Fulheim Fort and Skald's Retreat, and a bunch of places are under siege. And what that means for you is if you stop in that town on that day, then instead of having a regular like nice town encounter, you'll have to fight a battle, but you can actually get more from a town than you normally would if you help save it. We'll see if we decide to do that. But for now, we're totally fine. And on the first day, you always, unless it's the end game and you're like just doing the final battle, you always go to your initial town. So let me show you a town encounter. So you find the page in the Gazetteer that has that town, and we got a little bit of text here. A vital economic city in the heart of the Rift, Riften has seen its fair share of hardships over the years, most recently an invasion by the giant known as Sinmore. The city's residents have outlasted each trial with perseverance and a knack for free enterprise, both legal and illegal. The city's large sewer system has been unofficially christened the Ratway, and is home to many shady characters. So first of all, each town has its own special ability. This one is Ruins of Sinmur. At the start of this encounter, one adventurer must roll 1d6. If the adventurer's class is a stealth type, which mine is not, I'm a fighter class archer, or if it's day 1, then we reroll the d6 once, well good. The rolled result is closed for this encounter. So these are like options of places I can go to. I need to see which one is closed. And let's see, for quest board and alchemy station. Most likely I'm going to want to train and get an item, so that's fine. Get out of here, you're okay. Now we look at the items and the trainers and we draw for them. So there's 2 types of items, common and legendary. We're going to draw 4 common and 1 legendary. And I'm going to get 2 town actions, and for each of them I can go to a location. And there's no like money or anything, so if I go to the holdings, I can just take one of the items for free, which is nice. Okay, so here are 5 items. I'll get to those in a second. We also draw 6 trainers, and if any of these were crossed out, then we would redraw for any training tokens that are keyed to those types. It's basically melee, magic, and stealth. All right, let's see what we got. So we got Daedric summoning magic. We got destruction magic. I'm not going for magic. We've got heavy armor and 2-handed fighting, and we've got speechcraft and athletics. I was thinking I would want to go for stealth, so maybe I won't do a trainer this time. Although I don't have to try for a stealth build. Okay, and that's it for the setup. So I can go to the item place to take an item card. I can go to the trainer to take one of these trainer tokens and put them in one of the slots on my character board. And these are basically opposing tracks. So if I level up my health, I'll be putting tokens here to show that I have 5 health and 6 health. I'm actually, I start with 5, so that should be like that. 6 health, 7 health, 8 health. But then if I had two-handed and level up that, I'd be putting the dice here, and eventually they'll meet and you can't level up anymore unless you untrain something you already got. And also the costs go up the further you go left or right. So the white cost is for the ones on the left, 1 experience, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. And then the black experience cost is for on the right. So two-handed here would be 1, then 2, then 2. And yeah, I'm starting out with 2 basic dice in bow, my starting skill path. I've got 1 magicka, which honestly I'll probably untrain because I don't think I want to do magic. 2 basic combat skill dice, 3 stamina, which is going to be super important for me as a bow fighter. You'll see why. But yeah, so that's how trainers work. I can go to the Withered Tree, the inn, to fully recover all my stuff, totally useless at the beginning of the game. If the quest board was open, I could go there and draw 2 side quest cards and pick one, which are ways to earn extra bonuses and experience. The guild kiosk is tied to whichever guild I picked. So for Undaunted, it says, for your guild kiosk town action, discard all items in the shop and refill it with new items equal to the shop's values, then gain 1 item from the new selection. So I haven't really looked at these too much yet, but if I don't love those, then I can use that. If the alchemy station was open, when you use potions like this distillate of invisibility, they get tapped out basically, and then you can't use them again until you use a town action to refill it at the alchemy station. And then finally, there's a town square, which is unique for each town, and you can only use this once per town encounter, so I couldn't go to the Riften Ratway twice. This says draw the top 3 cards of the basic deck, choosing 1 to gain and discarding the other 2. Ooh, and if you're on a Thieves Guild quest, draw from the legendary items deck instead. That'd be awesome. So a lot of ways to get items here. Let's see what we've got. So this is an armor type, a high elf girdle. You can, during your turn, place 1 available combat skill die in an active slot set at 1 defense. It's actually pretty dang good, because if I'm like using my bow all the time, I might not take the time to use basic combat dice. I might not have a way to get much defense. So that's one to consider, just letting me consistently block damage. Nord Snowshoes, this is, I think it's an accessory, and they give you another way to use that tenacity, that basic stat that will be building up as you miss. So here it lets me move a lot, which is pretty dang good for an archer, right? So it could get away. Glyphs are enchantments. You put them on something and they last even between encounters. Enchant the enemy bag. When an enemy is deployed from this bag, it is deployed with -1 hit point, minimum of 1. The next time a battle ends, discard this enchantment. Wow, so for an entire battle, I could make all the enemies get -1 hit point. That sounds like an awesome late game item. Maybe not right now. Okay, Quicksilver Dagger is a weapon, and you can use 1 weapon each time you do what's called engaging. You'll see that when I'm in an encounter. But you need to be in the correct stance. So there's 5 different stances. You got defense, 2-handed, single-handed, archery, and magic. So I can only use this if I'm in single-handed stance, which I don't plan to be. But otherwise, this would let me, if I have a stealth status die, add 3 enemy combat dice, so like 3 free attack dice. By the way, armor and weapons have an overtax ability, which lets you do something even cooler, but then you throw the item away after you use it. So that would be good if I wasn't planning to archer a lot. And Distill of Invisibility, I can expend this to gain a stealth status die. Those are all fine, but I think for my first action, I'm going to do my, my guild kiosk. Get rid of all of these and draw again, because I'd love to, just get like a bow. Oh, and I did get one, so I got a Calcinium Mace, another one-handed weapon. Argonian Tunic would let me get bonus hit points. Short bow, gain 1 tenacity whenever you engage a target 2 hexes away. That's pretty dang awesome to give me consistent tenacity generation, although 2 hexes sounds a little too close for comfort. Pebble Pal is a pet, and basically you put hit points on them to do different things. This one says you may place hit point chips on this to deal 1 damage to an enemy in sight. That means on your combat tile or an adjacent one. And then once there are 5 chips on this, you discard it. So it's like 5 free damage over time. And Golden Gauntlets, this is the legendary one. It's another armor. After an enemy engages you, that means basically attack you, gain 1 tenacity for each combat skill die that was removed from your active slots during this engage. Oh, so that would only be good if I was using combat dice to block. So this would have comboed well with the other armor. But yeah, I'm going to get the short bow, pretty obviously. And you can have up to 4 active items at a time and then 4 in your backpack. You can only change what's in your backpack and what's active when you're not in combat, like at the start of a combat. Okay, so that was 1 town action. I could do Undaunted again. I could do Town Square, although that's clearly not as good as just doing the guild kiosk unless I was in the Thieves Guild. Or I could get a trainer. I really don't know. So I don't think I'm going for magic. 2-handed I could do, like if I want to do sort of like a weird mix build where I sometimes shoot from far away and sometimes just smash people next to me. Speech, I think, would be a little tough to make work in a solo game, although it is good for like these social checks you sometimes take. Acrobatics gives a lot of extra movement, but I kind of already have that in some of my bow skill line stuff. You know what? Forget it. I'm just going to do my guild kiosk one again and get a whole new set of items and see what I get. Okay, I got Claymore of the Crucible, which is a legendary 2-handed weapon. This is all of that skill dice again. Got a blanket to heal pets. No. Oh, this one's kind of interesting. Glyph of stamina recovery. So I'd mentioned a round die earlier. Just like in Too Many Bones, if you go to round 6 or later in a combat, you're going to start taking automatic fatigue damage. And this would basically give me more time for that. Oh, there's a lot of glyphs. Glyph of bashing. This would let me lockpick. That's basically when you try to open up a treasure chest during battle. It would let me lockpick automatically. Meh. Well, this one's kind of nice. Glyph of Transmutation. Enchant the legendary items deck. Oh, sorry, a legendary item, which I don't have yet. The enchanted item may be discarded at any time to draw the top 5 cards from the enchanted or the legendary item deck and choose one to keep. I like this one because it's basically going to let me turn a meh legendary item into a potentially great one. So yeah, I'll hang on to this. I'm going to put it in my backpack right now because it's literally useless until I get a legendary item, but that's okay. And that's the end of my first town encounter, and importantly, you don't get any experience. You don't get any better from doing town stuff. So you don't want to go too often, although, like I said, I really want to get another skill line, maybe a stealth or something later. But that's it for Riften. Then at the end of any encounter, we have what's called the reward step, where we can untrain some more stuff, and then we can do advancements, spending experience and such. But that clearly doesn't apply right now. And then at the end of the day, first we do what's called a province effect. And that's where we're going to change for this map what's under siege, although each map is different. And if I had a peaceful encounter during the day, I use the card that I encountered. Otherwise, I just draw the top card of the peaceful encounter deck and just flip it over and look at this icon here. So in day 2, these kind of towns are going to be under siege. I'm not going to visit a town. I got to go having some encounters, but just so we know what's going on. And if this card was only used for its icon, it goes to the back of the deck instead of being discarded. And finally, we have what's called a rest phase, and this is majorly different based on your difficulty level. If you're at the easiest difficulty, you get to heal up to 2 hit points. I'm at my max of 5. By the way, they now have white chips for 5s and the regular red chip theory chips for 1, so I don't need to heal. And you can also remove any 2 dice from anywhere in your cooldown. Usually you'll make that like fatigue, especially these over-fatigue black cubes that are really bad if you don't get rid of them. But also you can get rid of your skill dice that are in here and they just go back to their ready slots. If you're instead playing on the middle difficulty setting, you only get 1 free healing and 1 die removal each round. And if you're playing on the hardest setting, you get nothing unless you have a food item to eat. I haven't drawn any of those yet, but they have like a little apple in the corner here. And then you get your 1 healing and your 1 die removal, like at the intermediate level. I'm playing on medium level, by the way, because solo can be pretty tough, so I didn't want to do the hardest right off the bat. All right, we're going to day 2, and let's move. So I need to make my way up to the Grinning Horker, and I want to have as many, honestly, combat encounters as possible because they get me more experience. So let's see, like day 2, I could get to this unstable one. Day 3, I could get to Old Sword's Cave. Then where do I go for day 4? Day 4, I could go like 1, 2, 3, Fatigue 4, and do an unstable here, and then go to the Grinning Horker. Or I could spend a Fatigue today and go to this unstable one, then go to a peaceful one, and then day 4, go to the Grinning Horker. Oh yeah, because the other one was too slow, right? That'd be day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Yeah, so never mind. So let's do that. I'll go 1, 2, 3, spend a Fatigue 4, which means I just put 1 fatigue die here to the right of anything else that was here. So they just kind of like are building up, and then you're recovering the ones that are meeting or left of your little cooldown track there. And because this is an unstable encounter, I'm going to roll this die. It's a 3 out of 6 chance of getting a conflict, a 2 out of 6 chance of a peaceful encounter, and a 1 out of 6 chance that you find a traveling caravan instead of a regular town action. And honestly, I want the conflict. Hey, all right, there we go. And whenever you have an encounter, you draw a card of the given type. You have, just like in Too Many Bones, sorry to keep referring to it, but this game is heavily based on that, so if you haven't watched that before, my apologies. So you're going to read the encounter, and then you get some choices. This one has a peaceful option that will earn me 0 experience, boo, and a conflict option that will earn me 3. And you'll see the red circle behind this one. Whenever you do an unstable place, you have to take the red option if there is one. All right, so let's check out this card, Cold Discomfort. It's cold, so very cold, and your reaction time is suffering. You've been on your feet for what feels like an age. The sun is scraping the horizon, and all you can think about is sleep. Skyrim has a way of dulling the senses. Of course, it would be at this moment that a party of bandits crests the snow-covered hill up ahead of you. You shake the chill from your bones and attempt to mount a defense. So I have to do Frozen Resolve. Set the round counter to players +1. Oh, that's barely bad in solo. That means it's going to start on 2 instead of 1, so I have a little bit less time to kill them. You cannot retreat from this battle. I'm only fighting 2 guys, so I don't think that's too bad. And this is going to show both where the main clash map is set up, this big one represented by the black icon, as well as where the entrance goes, where you're going to start out. It also shows where items are, so common and legendary items. And then I'm going to spawn enemies starting with the highest values I can. So right now I'm just spawning 2, but if I was like doing like 12 points, then the 10-pointer, the highest I could do would be on the 1, and then the single 1-pointers would be on a 2 and 3. And I get 3 experience for this one? Holy crud. Usually clashes give you 2, so that's super nice of them. So let me set this all up and kind of talk you let me set this all up and talk you through our first clash. So here's the basic setup, and then I'm taking our experience level 2, multiplying by the number of characters, 1, so we get 2 points. And they have a 1-5 bag of enemies and a 10-20 bag. So I'm going to draw our first enemy. So we take the highest value available. With 2 points, it's just a 1. And every chip has a 5 and a 1 side from this bag. And every chip in the other bag has a 10 and a 20 side. So we've got a high elf bandit. And they're going to go on the 1 space with 3 health chips underneath. And then our second friend is an Imperial bandit with 5 health, and lucky for us, he's way out of the way. So if we can just murder this high elf bandit pretty quickly, he shouldn't be a problem. And then finally I get to put myself out, and yeah, let's just kind of get right to it, I think. And I can choose which items I want to have equipped. I mean, it doesn't really matter if I have the glyph or not. And yeah, we're ready and set up to go. So let me talk you through how a round goes. So first, each hero character will take a turn, and the turn order is determined by the order people put out their characters. So the first character we put on the map becomes the first character each round. And first you resolve any start of turn abilities. A big one would be like if we were baned, which is like poison, you would take a damage. Next, we have the cooldown steps. We get to remove up to 2 dice from our track, which is great. So my 1 fatigue from moving extra is gone already. Then I can take as many actions as I want in any order, although I have to resolve each one fully. I can move up to my stamina value, which for my character's race is 3 right now, although I could level it up. Movement is 1 hex each time. You can't move through enemies or allies. And if you move on to a cash chip, this common or legendary one, you have a chance to do a lockpicking test and open it up and get an item of that type. I really want to try to get that legendary one, so that even if it's bad, I can use my glyph to make it good. So that's movement. You can also use a class ability if you have tenacity. I don't have any yet. But yeah, your class gives you more and more expensive abilities, and you can only use each one once per turn. I also have an ongoing ability that's going to be super awesome. At the start of your turn, if you're in archery stance, you get to deal 2 damage to a targetable enemy. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, then other things, I have accuracy. When selecting a target, increase your range by 1. The little arrow symbol here means I need to be in that archery stance to be able to use it, and it costs 1 tenacity. Hawkeye lets me heal equal to the number of enemies within my range. And range, by the way, is based on your stance and your stats. When you're in armor, you have no range because you're not attacking anybody. When you're in one of the melee stances, you only have range to people that are adjacent to you. When you're in archery stance, your range is your stamina, so another reason to increase that. And when you're in magic stance, your range is your magic stat. So right now I can shoot at people up to 3 spaces away. Lethal arrow from an archery stance. Roll 2 enemy combat dice against a targetable enemy. Roll damage is true damage, which means it ignores like special defenses and their armor stat and stuff. And also, enemy combat dice are awesome whenever something lets you roll those because they don't go onto your cooldown track. Hunter's Discipline is an interrupt. When a non-quest enemy is deployed, remove it and deploy a random enemy of the same level to the same hex and then heal for 3. So if I get some enemy that's like abilities are totally the worst for me, I can stop them and get a new one. And then finally, the most expensive Venom arrows. Roll 3 status dice and apply them to targetable enemies, anybody within range. Which is pretty dang good. I could like blind or poison or all kinds of cool stuff. And each class has a way to upgrade themselves. The second they do that, this is kind of like flipping your chip in Too Many Bones. You flip over and things might become less expensive or more effective. It's generally the same abilities, but just better. For me, I have to defeat an enemy that is 6 or more hexes away. Gosh, which means barring some kind of special power or item, I pretty much need to have at least 5 stamina and use accuracy or 6 stamina. So that's something to work on. But yeah, thanks to my archer class, boom, this guy already loses 2 life, which is pretty great. Now let's look at his stats. This will be very familiar to those of you who have played other Chip Theory combat games. So that's his starting life. This is his engagement range, so he can attack me at up to range 4 since he's an archer. His level, 1, 5, 10, 20, we already said that. The type of enemy he is, this guy's a humanoid. That doesn't matter unless something says it does. Who he targets and how many people. So he would shoot up to 2 adventures within 4 range. And if there were more than 2 he could shoot at, he would pick the ones with the least health. That's why the arrow's going down. This is how many combat dice he rolls. Those have 1 miss side, 4 1 side, and 1 2 side. Exactly the same as Cloudspire and Too Many Bones and all of those. So he'll tend to do 1 damage. How much defense he subtracts from each action. Actions are like a single instance of damage, so my archer ability to like shoot 2 damage, that's 1 instance. So if I had used that on the Imperial Bandit, he would have subtracted 1 from that damage and only taken 1, but he would still subtract 1 from like the next thing I use to attack him. So defense can be pretty annoying. And then finally, they have special abilities. In this case, this one is dodge. And you've got a big card that says what it does. Dodge. If this unit is engaged by an opposing unit, prevent damage dealt to this unit equal to the number of rolled skill dice that do not deal damage. So like if I attacked him with all of these things and like one of them totally whiffed, instead of doing 2 damage to him, I'd only do 1 because of the dodge ability. And that gets even worse when you're using dice that can't deal damage, like if you're rolling healing dice or stealth dice against him. And just a look at our other friend over here, the Imperial Bandit. He's got 5 life, 1 defense, 1 attack, only 1 range, and he's got the native keyword. This one is another thing that changes based on your region. So for Skyrim, it's freeze. When this unit determines a target must put 1 item from a ready slot to their pack. And if the party is in an under siege town, they must move all items to their pack. Oh, so I guess it's good that I equipped the glyph and the short bow, because that way if he hits me with the freeze, I can unequip the glyph. Anyway, getting to my turn. With range combat, I can shoot up to my stamina, but I cannot shoot somebody adjacent to me. And I want to move towards this legendary thing. I'm going to probably kill him, so I just really want to not let this guy reach me. He can move 2. Each enemy moves 2 each round. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 movement to here. So that's my move. I can't move again. And then I'm going to do the most important action type, which is engaging. And this is where you roll dice equal to up to your stamina if you're in any of these 4 stances, or up to your magicka if you're in magic. So I can pick up to 3 dice on my mat that are available and roll them. And I have to pick 1 target who's in targetable range. Clearly that's going to be the bandit here. And also I get to pick 1 weapon that matches my stance. So I'm going to pick the short bow, which says gain 1 tenacity when you engage an enemy 2 hexes away. And if I wanted to throw it away, I could do the overtax, gain 3 tenacity. And when this weapon is discarded, you may replace it with another item from your pack. Well, no, we're not doing that. Okay, so I get a free tenacity. And now I pick how many dice I want to roll. I can roll up to 3, but I'm only going to recover 2. So let's see my basic combat dice. I should kill the guy. These level 1 bow dice are called snipe dice. You can see they have the exact same die faces as basic combat dice. And their ability is you deal X damage to your targets. So that's just like a basic combat die. But you ignore 1 defense on your target for this entire engage for all your dice. So basically, if I use these, I'll be able to make sure that Imperial guy doesn't really have the armor he thinks he does. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to use basic combat dice. You can always use these in any stance except magic. And if you use them when you're in the defense stance, they actually become active dice that will defend you the next time somebody attacks you, kind of like blocks in Too Many Bones. All right, so I'm attacking this guy, and boop. Okay, cool, and that worked out. If I had rolled a miss and a 1, his dodge ability would have caused me not to kill him. But here I'm doing 2 damage, more than he has, so he's removed. He's put in this little defeated enemy stack. There are some enemies who can, like, summon people back to life. There are some skill lines that let you bring people back to life and fight for you, but here he's just dead. And these dice go in order as I use them. So basically I say 1 damage, 2 damage. And within a given engage, that's still 1 instance of damage, like all the skills you use combined. So defense is only counted once. But if I now engaged again to like shoot somebody else with these, then defense would be counted again. And you can do that, by the way, if you don't mind building up more dice that you can potentially cool down. You can do as many engages as you want each time using dice, and each time you can even change your stance. So like I could have shot him with arrows and then changed a defense stance and rolled these into my defense to block damage. But each time you re-engage after your first one is for each turn, you have to take a fatigue before you get to do all that stuff. But this is like the only way to change targets generally. So if I wanted to like shoot a lot of like weak targets, I could just like keep on re-engaging. And again, you can also change your stance when you do that, which can let you like have a build where you do melee and archery or do like different types of magic or that kind of thing. But yeah, in this case, I'm totally fine. I don't need to do anything else yet. All right, and then when I end my turn, enemies activate. If there were more than 1 enemy on the board, they would activate in highest to lowest value. These are all 1s, so it doesn't matter. And this guy's going to try to get to where he can engage me using the least movement possible. Here, it doesn't really matter. I can just have him go there, I guess. Yeah, there's nowhere I can put him where I won't be in melee range and out of my range to get the cash chip. And then that's the end of round 2, because remember, it started on a later round, so we go to round 3. And if we get to round 6, which has this die, each round I'll get what's called an over fatigue die, which is a black one. And this one never goes out of your cooldown track, except when you rest at the end of the day, you can get rid of these. Or if you stop in an inn in a town, you can get rid of everything, which is really the best way to get rid of a bunch of these. And even worse about these never getting fully out of your cooldown track is that each time you have a fatigue round, you take damage equal to the number of these you have. So if I went to round 6, I'd get 1 of these, take 1 true damage, ignoring my defense. Then if I went to round 7, I'd take another one and take 2 true damage. Then if I went to round 8, I take a third one and take 3 true damage. There are also abilities that can give you these. They're nasty. You don't want over fatigue. But yeah, round 3. All right, so I get to use my archer ability first and do 2 free damage, but his defense blocks 1. And again, that won't prevent him from blocking damage on my regular turn either. So he's down to 4. And then I have a few choices here. I could shoot him from here and then run away so he couldn't reach me and kind of kite him. I could move 2 away from him and shoot him so that I could use my short bow and get a free tenacity. Or the more aggressive thing, I'm thinking I might shoot him and then run over the cash chip and maybe engage again to block a little bit. Yeah, that's the way I roll. So I get my 2 cooldown back. And then for my first action, I'm going to engage in archery stance using just these 2. See how this goes. Okay, so there's 2 basic damage, most common result. But because each of those results ignores 1 defense, he has no defense, so he is down to just 2 life now. And these get exhausted over here. Okay, now I'm going to take my movement action. I have up to 3 movement from stamina and show you lockpicking. So when you do a lockpicking action, you take the top card of that item deck, and this shows how many rolls you get, and you're trying to get this combination of numbers on 3 dice. Now, ignore that 2 for a second. If I was just doing a regular lockpick check, I would get that many rolls, and I need to get a 6, a 2, and a 6. Using these D6 lockpicking dice. And after each roll, you can choose which ones after each roll, you can choose which ones you want to keep. So let's say I wanted to keep the 2 there. And you can re-roll or not the other ones. And also after a roll, you can take as many fatigue as you want, the light fatigue, to move a die up or down 1 for each fatigue you take. Now, Legendary is a little bit nastier because they have this first number that has like little spikes around it. And I need to get this result before I can keep any other dice. So yes, it gives me 4. Usually these give you 3 chances, but I need to really get a 2 on that first roll. Actually, that fake roll I did would have been great, but too late. So I need 2s mainly, and then also some 6s. That's not a great start. Hey, let's be optimistic. I'll take a fatigue to change the 1 into a 2. And now I don't need to keep that anymore because you might be like, wait, Mike, you don't have 4 dice. So that 2 is just gone, ignored. Now I just need the 6, 2, 6 with 3 chances left. Okay, that's good, actually. 6. Do I keep? Let's be optimistic and go again. So this is my 3rd attempt. Whoa! Okay, you know what? We're just going to stop there and go ahead and take another fatigue. So that's 2 total. 2. Mark this down to a 2. And that means I get the item, which is a string of Thracian pearls. So I can spend 2 tenacity as an interrupt. When resolving your recovery step, recover 1 additional die for each legendary item in your ready slots. It's not that great. I'd rather just raise my cooldown stat. So yeah, I think I'll use the glyph. I think I can do that whenever I want, basically. So yeah, I'll just go in and glyph it now. Which means I get to draw 5 items. Okay, let's see what I got. Berserker's Medallion. If this item is right side up, you may flip it upside down to take 1 free turn after your current turn ends. If your adventure is defeated while this item is upside down, flip it right side up. Oh, well, I don't want to be defeated. Glyph of Magicka. The enchanted adventure has +1 Magicka. Nope, we don't want that. Tri-Restoration Potion. You may trigger any one of your non-enduring class abilities without spending tenacity. Ooh, so that'd be like a free Venom Arrow. It's pretty dang good. Okay, so that's a possible. Glyph of Disease Resistance. Enchanted Adventure. The Enchanted Adventure ignores the effects of Bane, Fear, and Maim status dice in their cooldown track. And if the Enchanted Adventure gains a stealth... Oh, I forgot about my stealth ability. Hold on, I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, that one doesn't sound great. And then Mark of the Pariah Shield. That's only usable in Magic. You may roll combat dice disengage as if you were in defense stat. Oh, that's such a good one for a magician who wants people to block. Yeah. I think I'll just get the Tri-Restoration Potion. It's not great, but it works. So yeah, I forgot to show you my Wood Elf race ability. You can use these once per battle. It's based on your race. Hunter's Eye. Once per battle, before any unit's turn, apply a stealth status die to up to 2 party members in play. And status dice, both good and bad, work with this cooldown track in a cool way too. So if I have a stealth die, then no one who didn't start the turn next to me, unfortunately this guy did, can target me. And if they can't target anybody, they'll just move towards you anyway, but not like really do anything. And then you have other dice like Blinded and Bane, which does 1 damage every turn. So all the rest of these are negative. And the thing is, until they cool down, they stay around. So for stealth, it also goes away if you deal damage. But like if you want to be in stealth for a little while, you can just wait for it to slowly trickle out from your cooldown track. But again, the guy is next to me, so he's not going to help me right now. By the way, the cash chip goes away whether or not you succeeded in lockpicking. But I did succeed. Okay, so I am going to do another engage, switch to defense mode. And what the hell, I'll just roll both of these. And here we go. Nice, I got 2. And these both go in my active slots because I'm in defensive stance, and they are going to be subtracted from damage if I want, and then they'll get exhausted. Any active dice also get exhausted at the end of the battle if you haven't used them yet. Okay, so that was an expensive turn. I might try to hang around and get the other treasure and get rid of more dice, because these stick around from encounter to encounter, and in the difficulty I'm in, I'll only get to get rid of one of them at the end of the day. But our Imperial Bandit is now activating. He's attacking with his 1 combat die because he has native. I have to move 1 ready item to my backpack, so bye-bye potion. Not that it really matters, I wasn't going to use it. And he's rolling enemy dice equal to his value. They are identical to player dice, except they don't have the tenacity symbol for the miss. So when you use enemy dice from special powers and things, they're slightly worse than regular dice. But again, they don't go to your cooldown track. All right, what you got, brother? 1 damage. And I can choose to exhaust to block it, so I take no damage. Haha. All right, so at this point, I'm not too scared of him, but I do not want to run out of time. This is round 4. I definitely want to kill him by the 5th round. So unfortunately, I cannot use my ability to shoot him because, number 1, I'm not in archer stance, and number 2, it says a targetable enemy, and when you're in archery stance, you cannot target adjacent, so I can't hurt him with it either way. But I do get my 2 dice back, thank you. And I want to get to where I can shoot him and also work towards that, so let's go 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to engage him. I'm going to switch to archery stance, and that'll mean I can use this and get a tenacity for free. That gives me 2 tenacity, so I could get extra range or heal. Don't need either of those. Okay, and then I'm going to engage the guy. I don't want to kill him yet, so let's hopefully roll a single damage on one of these and just plink him. Oh no, I don't even want to do that because then my automatic ability can kill him. So let's not attack this turn because I have 1 more round, right? But before his turn goes, I am going to use my once per battle Hunter's Eye to stealth myself. And now he's like, hey, where'd she go? And he does nothing, which is lovely. Okay, and that takes us to round 5. I got to make this the final round. I get rid of 2 of my fatigue, and I get to do 2 free damage to him. His defense reduces it to 1. And since I used that ability and dealt damage, I'm out of stealth automatically, whereas if I hadn't attacked, since it was still on my cooldown track, he still couldn't have seen me. All right, let's go ahead and try to kill him first. I only need a single die to kill him, and I can only miss on a 1/6 chance, so I'm only going to do 1 die to have less to recover. If I miss, I can always engage again and get extra fatigue to hit him with another one. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, I just need to not get a miss. Oh, wow, 2. Beautiful. So he's dead, because I also ignored his armor, so even if I had done 1, he would have been dead. And because this battle is a basic conquest objective, that's what pretty much every clash is. You just win when you kill everybody, but not until the end of the round, so I can still use my movement to go here and try to lockpick this thing. And what's this one? 3 attempts, that's how it usually is. 3, 5, 2. All right, attempt number 1. Wow, that was a good start. Okay, I'm not going to spend 2 fatigue yet. Let's see if I can get closer. If I get within 1, I'll probably just do it. So second attempt, that's enough. I'll take a fatigue. I just want to get it. And it's a wolf pelt. When you would gain a status die, if you are in magic stance, you may choose to gain 1 light fatigue instead of the status die. All these great magic items that are totally useless to me. So, oh well. There are some places where you can sometimes get rid of items to do other effects. So hopefully I'll get some way to use that later. But that is the end of the round. We didn't go to the over fatigue round. I win. I didn't take any damage. It was a nice fight. Oh, and actually, that final time I engaged him, I should have gotten a 3rd tenacity, right? So now I have enough, because this sticks around between battles. I have enough to use the lethal arrow, doing up to 2 to 3 or 4 damage for free, ignoring armor, or Hunter's Discipline to redraw an enemy. Because I completed the encounter successfully, I get 3 experience, and this is experience you can save between encounters. You can save up to 3 at a time. You can exceed this at the end of a day, but anything you don't spend in the advancement step, so that's how you can afford things that cost a whole bunch, because, for example, increasing your cooldown costs the amount of the new value, so to get to 4, then 5, then 6 would cost 4, 5, and 6 experience. Now, the negative is I also go up to 5 for me. So next time I fight, I would fight a single 5-level enemy, which is not the worst, but definitely not the best. Oh, and these guys go back in their bag after the battle to be drawn again. Okay, so I can advance. So I could spend 2 experience to get a 4th stamina, giving me 4 movement and 4 attack range. That would get me pretty close to being able to upgrade my archer. I could just spend 2 experience to get another combat die. I don't really care about getting more of those. I could spend 2 experience to get another bow die. And the cool thing is these skill tree dice come in 4 levels, and you can get a level that is 1 higher than levels you already have. So I could get Volley. This hits on 4 out of 6 sides. The other 2 would have Tenacity. Deal a total of 4 damage, distributed as you choose among enemies adjacent to you. Notice if that's an adjacent ability. Then place yourself in an unoccupied hex, 2 to 4 hexes away from your current hex. Pretty dang awesome when the enemies get close. Or Acid Spray. Select up to 3 targetable enemies, roll 2d6 for each. Apply a Bane status die to each enemy for whom you roll a total of 7 or higher. Bane dice do 1 automatic true damage at the start of each of their turns, kind of like a poison, so that's pretty great. See, I could get that for 2. I could also get an extra health that I immediately gain for only 1. But yeah, I got to go with the simple things and just get more cooldown first so I can do everything I want to do. And then I think maybe I'll work on more stamina and more basic bow dice for a while. So this does mean now that I will fully recover at the start of the next clash unless I move extra for more fatigue or something. Oh, and I forgot about resting. So since I'm in the medium level, I would get 1 hit point back, but no, sir. And I get to take 1 of any die. When you rest, it doesn't have to be in order. And that's, again, the main way you can get rid of those black over fatigue dice. But yeah, here, let's get back this should actually be exhausted. I forgot because that was in my active slot. So I'll get back 1 of my combat dice, and then, assuming nothing happens, I should get back everything else next round. Oh, one final reward thing. Whenever you do an unstable encounter, whether you won or lost, you get 2 tenacity at the end. So I'm full up on tenacity. Heck to the yeah. Okay, so that takes us to day 3. Remember, they suggested that we do the delve by day 4, so we want to get close this round. And closest would be the Crimson Kadaz Crafting Cavern. That's a lot. And that's a peaceful encounter, which is not really what I want, but I did get more experience than average in that last one, so that could be okay. I could also go, oh wait, I didn't see what's under siege. It's that one, which means every town nearby except that one is under siege. Again, under siege is kind of better than a regular town action, because if you play your cards right, you can get 3 town actions instead of 2, but you're also fighting the whole time without getting experience, so it's kind of worse too, because you might not get those 3 town actions and might lose a ton of health and stuff. So yeah, I think I'll just take the peaceful option and go here for day 3 with my 3 movement. You hear a strange scraping sound across the snow. Looking around for the source of the noise, you spot an assortment of spiky vines worming and twisting their way toward you at an alarming pace. You've heard stories of the Reach folks' bloodthorn vines, magically augmented plants frequently used in the Reach's religious rites. Rumor has it that many of Skyrim's bloodthorn varieties have lately been subject to bursts of out-of-control growth, and you seem to be witnessing a confirmation of those stories. When a bloodthorn wraps itself around a living subject, it can alter the mind, so you quickly begin looking for an escape route. And by the way, this is a show, this says SK, so this is a Skyrim-specific encounter. There are 8 unique clash encounters and 8 unique peaceful encounters for each of the regions. And then you also take a random 4 general encounters of each type to mix into the deck. So 8 out of 12 of the encounters you'll have for each type are unique to your region. All right, so we have 2 options. We don't have to worry about the red unstable one this time, so we can pick freely. Okay, so hightail it out of here. Move the party token up to 3 hexes, get 1 experience, or you could use an Altered Mind. Each adventurer chooses a skill line to untrain and draws a random line to replace it. Each skill die from the untrained line is replaced with a skill die from the new line. This replacement skill dice must be of the same level or lower than the dice being trained. If not enough skill dice are available, that adventurer may train 1 combat skill die for each skill die they could not replace. That sounds way too dangerous. I have a pretty decent chance of getting a magic line, and my magic stat is terrible. So no, we'll just hightail it out of here for 1 experience. And we get to move 3, so we'll just get right next to the place and go in there next turn. And remember, when you have a peaceful encounter, you just use the icon on that card, so the same towns are still under siege. Okay, I got 1 experience, so I'll now be fighting 6 points of people. Yikes. And what do I want to do? 1 experience is not a lot. I can't get more stamina. I can't get the next bow die. I don't have any other skill lines trained. I could get an extra health, but honestly, I want to push towards longer range and better bow attacks first. So I'm just going to save it for later. And I still get to rest, recover 1 hit point, which I don't need, and get rid of 1 die. You might be asking why I'm not getting my fatigue back, because even if I get more fatigue, I would still have all my dice available here. So I find it's better to keep the light fatigue and get your actual dice back faster. And with that, we're going to day 4. We're going to take their advice and go have our special delve in the Grinning Horker. So cool, you'll have seen pretty much all the basic types of encounters now, because that was a peaceful, that was a clash, and now a delve. So now we have a special encounter according to our quest, and then we'll go to a new entry and have the next step to follow, because remember, it's only day 4 of 12 probably. So if we were in session 2, because you do the same quest lines for the second part of the campaign, but they're just harder and you have higher experience, so it's tough for people. If we were in session 2, we would start on round 2 or 3 or 4, depending on our player count. So we're going to be establishing beacons, and they say that we succeed at the quest no matter what, but we're just trying to get as many beacons as possible because it'll make the final quest easier. So whenever we get a sky shard, we'll get a beacon and basically mark it with common items. And I'll show you how Sky Shards happen. And then also, whenever we move on to a cache, one of those treasure chests, we can choose to discard player count number of items and discard the cache to also get a beacon. So, hey, Wolf Pelt, I got a job for you now, buddy. But whenever we get a beacon, we're going to automatically spawn a Draugr, who's an annoying level 1 enemy. And this is unique to Skyrim. You can see the SK there. He's got 5 life, melee, 2 combat, 1 defense. He's got the decay ability, which means he does 1 true damage to himself every round. It's like he automatically has Bane. But he also has very annoying the Stalwart ability, which means he can't take more than 1 damage. This is like Hardy, right, in Too Many Bones. He can't take more than 1 damage in each turn. So I could do 1 damage to him on his turn, and the decay is the most damage he'll ever take on his own turn. Now, if he's already spawned when I get a Sky Shard, then I get the Hag Raven instead. Only 5 life and 0 defense, so she's not like crazy to kill, but she's got 5 range, so hard to get away from. 2 combat dice. She has Chillblame, which means if you attack her when you don't have a weapon equipped, then she does something. What does she do? Oh, you gain light fatigue, equal to player count. And this is a really bad one. When you kill her, the rod ability means that you get an over fatigue. Now, if they're both on the map and I get a Sky Shard, then they just stick around, so I might just be able to outrun them, although, again, her super long range would make that tough. Oh, and they do have, by the way, things to make the game harder, specifically for 3 or 4 players, because I think people knew that in Too Many Bones, the game tended to be too easy. So here, if it was 3 players or 4 players, you would get a level 20 vampire instead of the Hag Raven. That's pretty terrifying. And then, you know, the regular classes will sometimes have special rules like that too, or in this case, you just had fewer rounds. And the encounter will be completed when we're all defeated or at the end of the first fatigue round. But it's always successful, so I'm going to get 2 experience no matter what. Of course, I would rather get as many beacons as possible and not be defeated, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so delves are full-on dungeon crawls, so I'm going to try to leave myself some space to put out more of a map. You're going to be adding more tiles based on this little exploration icon, and new tiles you place out will be determined based on these delve cards you draw. You'll see all that in action, but anyway, I'm going to start here. All right, and let's get into it. So you can explore if you start your turn in a exploration hex. You can immediately explore, which is good because you can resolve start of turn abilities in whatever order you want. So I can explore and then immediately plink somebody for 2 if they're at the right range. But you can also explore when you move on to a place, although that's pretty dangerous because then you might not like what suddenly appears in front of you. So whenever you explore in the delve, you draw the top card of the delve deck. This is like half specific to the region and half generic. And we're going to see a bunch of things on here. So first of all, we'll see what type of tile we're going to put out. So here it's one of this 3-3-2 row things. So we draw, there are 3 of each of like the main types of things, and we look at what is on here. So first of all, we need to connect one of these exploration tokens on the tile to where we are. Since it seems like it's going to be pretty easy to kill the enemies, I actually want to have it here closer to me and kind of expand out that way. Then it shows what we're going to spawn. So it is based on player count, but the big thing is you cannot spawn from a single card more than your thing, but you can definitely exceed your value, which is 6 right now for me, over the course of multiple cards. But here I'm just getting a single level 1 enemy, and you have to put them on the farthest away of these like little enemy spots possible. I'll take him away from the exploration thing. It is a wolf, 4 life, 1 range, 2 combat dice. And riposte means the first time he's dealt damage in a turn by an adjacent unit, then he hits that much back unless he's killed. Guess what? We don't care because you're probably going to be dead. Now you also see there is a cache icon here, but you need to check the delve card to see if anything actually goes out. So this shows that I could place up to 2 common cache tokens, but here there's only 1 on the tile. A bigger tile might have had 2. So yeah, you have to see whether the card matches it. And then finally, a lot of these will have like terrain effects and traps. This one says when an adventurer moves or is placed onto this tile, they must either end their turn immediately or add a frostbite chip to icy buildup. So this is a unique card for delves in Skyrim. It says place this card beside the delve deck during any session that takes place in Skyrim. When instructed to place frostbite chips, you place them on here as health. And half frozen. During delves, each party member's health stat is reduced by the number of frostbite chips on this card to a minimum of 1. And when you take a temporary decrease to your maximum health like this, you immediately lose that much real health too. So I think we'll just end my turn. And the easiest way to do that would be to like kill the wolf from here and then move there. And then like next turn I can explore again. So yeah, now let's resolve my other start of turn ability, and boop, 2 health gone already. Thank you, my free archer thing. And now we go to cooldown. 2 of these go away. And what do I want to do with this engage? I guess I'm going to cool down 3, right? So let's just use 3 to make sure I kill the guy. Need to get 2 damage. Okay, good thing I did that. Well, never mind, I did 3. I would gain into tenacity. I would also get one for my bow. But yeah, that stuff is filled up. So we'll go boop, boop, and boop. But I'll recover all that in a second. And the wolf is dead, so that part was pretty easy. All right, now I'm going to move, but when a adventurer moves onto this tile, they must immediately end their turn. Oh, I guess, do I even get to, like, open up the cache? I mean, no, I think I would still get to open it, right? I don't know. By the way, I had mentioned sky shards. Those will be like little blue things that'll show up on some of the delve cards. So that's what I'm kind of digging for. Some cards are going to have them, some cards aren't. Usually the easier cards were like here, where I only had a single one enemy don't. Yeah, so I'm going to play it that I still get to do the lockpick here. Or I could discard the wolf pelt and get the Draugr spawn, but I want to do that when my turn is ending. So what have we got? 4-2-1. 4-2. That's good. That's a good start. I could take the fatigue and just do it now. Yeah, it's probably smarter. What are the chances of getting a 4? I'll just take 1 fatigue. I want to get chicken and biscuits. So these are the type of items that if I was playing in hard mode, I would need to use to rest. Discard this item and heal to full hit points. But you may only use this item if you are at 1 hit point exactly. Still, that's pretty dang good. Definitely better than that wolf pelt. And again, I'm not 100% sure if I would have gotten to lockpick that, but that is the end of my turn. So we go to round 2 with absolutely nothing accomplished. Good job, Mike. I don't get to explore at the start of my turn, which means I don't have anybody to shoot my archer ability at. Oh well. And I only get to recover 3 of these, so I don't have that fatigue gone yet. So let's go and use 1 of my 3 movement, and you can continue moving after you explore to explore here. And I got another one that doesn't have a thing. Sheltered Grove. A level 5 is going to be on here. But up to 2 items, that's good. Protect from the elements. Ooh, while occupying this tile, party members ignore the effects of icy buildup. That's cool. All right, so the item's going to be in the middle no matter what. The exploration's going to be kind of far away no matter what. So yeah, we'll just go like that, I guess. And who's our level 5 friend? Imperial Marauder as native and rally. Native is the freezing one, we know that. Oh, rally, though, friggin' sucks. Rally means that when I kill this guy, I'm going to draw, if he's a level 5, I draw like the next level down, so a level 1. So I've got full tenacity. I'm going to use Hunter's Discipline, remove it and deploy a random enemy of the same level. I would heal 3, but I don't have any. Okay, now I got this guy's not great either. Shatter and Steel. Yeah, this sucks. If I attack him while I have a weapon equipped, I need to either overtax it and discard it, or he just breaks it anyway. Well, maybe I just run the other way and don't worry about that guy. It'll take him a while to catch me, right? And I can always like go to stealth mode if I need to. And then I do get a single thing here, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna go the other way. Bye! So I got 2 movement left. Let's go to here and explore again. And we'll leave this card here to remind us that one's sheltered. And here we go, friggin' Sky Shard. Now, you don't get it until you actually move on to the location. So that's when, like, the Draugr will be spawned. Oh, God. We have a 1 and a 5 on this tile? What the heck? Okay, great. Let's put them far away from me, I guess. Let's see. When revealed, draw 1 common item for each frostbite chip on icy buildup and distribute them. Oh, well, that's great. And then this 1+ thing means when I get the Sky Shard here, I'll resolve this ability based on the total number of Sky Shards I have. Increase the round counter by 1 for each Sky Shard the party has gained, including this one. Then remove 1 frostbite chip from icy buildup. Come on, man. I'm just going to lose an entire round. That sucks. But let's put out our enemies and our items. It could place a legendary, but there isn't a spot for one. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. I just checked. There are never the other symbol on the tiles. You always place legendaries or things, and legendaries always go first. So this will actually be a legendary. And then I got to put the enemies. So the 5 will go here, and I can put the 1 here. So the 5 is a Khajiit Marauder. Detection means they can still shoot you when you're in stealth. Great. And retreat means if they don't damage anybody during their turn, they get stealth and heal for 1. So this guy's just annoying. But he's only got 3 life and no armor, so I think he'll go down easily. And then the 1 is a Breton Bandit. He has Steel. That means if he targets me, I roll a die, and if it's higher than my health, so it would have to be a 6 right now, he gets to take one of my items. He only has 1 attack, 1 defense, 4 life. He's not too bad. I mean, none of them are as bad as Shatter McShatter a lot over there. All right, so that is all my movement. I haven't moved in here yet to do the Glacial Chamber, which means the Draugr is not here yet. And I do have a range on both of them. So, yeah, let's try to kill the Khajiit Marauder. He's clearly going to hurt me more if he gets to me. So I'll do my first engage with all 3 of these, just assuming that I won't roll all 1s. Hopefully I kill the guy, though. Okay, 4 damage, never mind. And you technically resolve dice in the order you want, so I could do like my 2 damage, then my 1 damage, then you can just exhaust a die instead of resolving it. I mean, it still goes to your cooldown track, but that makes sense for dice that, for example, have a drain effect where you get to only use them once per battle. It makes sense to like just exhaust them if you didn't get the result you wanted. So yeah, I'll do 2 damage, then 1, and then exhaust the last one because he's already dead. But yeah, choosing what order you resolve them in means you can choose what order you'll get them back. I want my archery dice back faster. So boop, bye-bye. And then the question, do I go into defense mode to get that. I don't think I do. I want to get my 2. Oh, I guess I won't get the 2 free damage on him regardless. Well, I'm still not going to do it. It's fine. So I take this to round 3, and oh gosh, when we go in there, it's going to be round 4. Yeah, we're not going to get too many beacons lit. I guess I can maybe try to like run back and do that one with the wolf pelt. I kind of rather, well, it's also harder to unlock a legendary chest. Maybe I just use the wolf pelt on that one. Although if I move in and then do the wolf pelt thing, the Draugr and the hag raven will be there at the same time. That's kind of terrifying to think about. But here's the thing. If I'm defeated or if time runs out, I complete the adventure anyway. And honestly, I think the next thing I'll probably do is go to a town to try to like maybe get a new skill line to train. So it's not going to be the end of the world if I get my butt kicked some. All right, but anyway, this guy goes, oh, should I use stealth here? No, I don't think I need to do that yet. Okay, so this guy will come in here. This guy's just going to run towards me. And because he's engaging me, the steel guy, okay, 5 is fine. Oh, no, it's not. I should have read better. It has to be equal or greater to my health. So I'll get rid of the wolf pelt that I was about to throw away anyway. Oh, and sorry, now it's round 3. I don't know why I said it was round 3 before things had actually gotten going. All right, well, I might as well deal 1 damage to this guy with my ability because I can't shoot the one next to me. All right, and then what do? I could go like 1, 2, 3, and then shoot this guy. Although he's not doing that much damage. I just don't want to get stolen from again. How much of these guys are going to murder me? A lot is the answer. And by the way, I'm recovering all this. And yeah, I'm just going to go for getting the beacons, right? So I'm going to go in here, which means I immediately get the first shard. So the round counter increases by 1 to 4, but nothing else happens. What am I talking about? Yes, something absolutely happens. The Draugr has to go to the closest unoccupied hex. Hello? Okay, I still have 2 movement left, so I'm going to go here and throw away my chicken and biscuits to establish another beacon. I don't think these items are face up, so whatever. And the Hag Raven's like, who's out here trading biscuits for beacons? That would be me, Hag Raven. That would be me. And I have 1 movement left. Bye. I might try to like explore next. Well, yeah, I guess I might as well be on the space so I can explore without moving. And then I can try to like rush into another Sky Shard room if I get lucky. All right, I can try to kill somebody. Clearly the Hag Raven's the worst. But the Breton Bandit's slightly easier to kill. Let's shoot the Hag Raven. So because I'm engaging her at range 2, I do get a tenacity. Ha ha ha. And then let's just do it all, baby. Let's just do it all. Well, the funny thing is, if I kill her, I just make room for the Draugr to come up and hit me instead. Whatever, it's fine. Here we go. Oh, that was actually a great roll. 4 damage. Heck yeah. Not a good enough roll to kill her. She's got 1 life left, but I hurt her a lot. Oh, and remember, Chillblade would have given me fatigue, except I attacked her with a weapon, so it didn't matter. And I could use something like Lethal Arrow to just hit her again, but I mean, then if I run into the next room and it's got a Sky Shard as well, I'm just going to spawn her again, so let's not. Ooh, now what I could do, yeah, I'm definitely going to do this. Let's activate my once per battle Hunter's Eye. Suddenly I'm in stealth, and none of y'all can see me because I killed the guy who had detection. Now, they still activate in high to low order, so 10, then 5, then the 1s. And they still move toward me, even if they can't see me. They just can't engage me to attack. So she'll move up high, and then he'll move up, and then I could have them go in either order. I guess it doesn't really matter. He'll go there, and the Draugr will go there. Just so many friends coming to wish me well. Oh, that's right. The Draugr has decay. So at the end of his turn, he's dealt 1 true damage. You're my 1 true damage. Okay, there we go. That takes us to round 5, and not at the end of this round, but the end of the next round, we'll leave automatically. So again, like it doesn't matter if I'm going to go rest in a town. I just want to try to find some more Sky Shards, which actually probably means I want to stay in stealth, doesn't it? So yeah, since I've still got this, I'm not going to use my free damage ability at the start of my turn, but I am going to explore again. Oh, yes. Okay, so it's a dungeon cache. By the way, an important rule for delves, there's only 3 tiles of each of like the basic shapes. And this is the 3rd one of these big 7-tile ones, which means if I explored again and got another one of these, it just counts as a free shard you've collected immediately, which is really cool. Okay, so when revealed, gain 5 tenacity. Heck yeah. Oh, and a 5 and a 1 guy, but I'm still in stealth, so I don't care. All right, where do I want to put it? I want to be able to like explore again pretty quickly. Yeah, I think that'll work. Importantly, you cannot explore a place that's next to another exploration tile that's like already been explored. So if I do that, I can explore that one. And it does have a cache, basic one. I think it was on the farthest. And I've got a 5. This guy's got dodge, which we saw before. And then Vine Snare, after he engages you, you have to drain a combat die, which means it goes on like your player board and you recover it for free at the end of the combat. And then just the basic sad little skeleton. He's got 2 life, 2 armor, not much else going for him in life. Oh, and I didn't look at the actual effect. When you move in, make a lockpick check on the top card of the common deck. If unsuccessful, take player mount true damage among adventurers and place yourself in any unoccupied hex on the entrance tile, if possible. Regardless of success, cycle the lockpicked card to the bottom of the deck. Okay, so I've got 3 movements, so let's go, and we get this. We don't spawn anybody because they're all still here. I didn't kill the Hag Raven. But that's a 3rd beacon, heck yeah. Now I got to try to lockpick this or teleport back to the entrance. Teleport back to the entrance, huh? I still have 2 movement left, and I don't think that goes away, so I could go like boop, boop. And then I can go 1, 2, 3 on my final turn. It wouldn't be enough movement to actually try to get a final Sky Shard, so I guess I won't do that. Well, I should say I don't want to do that, but who knows what will actually happen. 4, 2, 4. It's a pretty dang good start, isn't it? Once again, I could use 2 more rolls, but now let's take the Light Fatigue. So I don't get this card, I just don't teleport away. Okay, so that was 1 movement. 2, we're exploring again. Oh my god, it's the giant one, but it has a Sky Shard. That's all I care about. Okay, it's got a 5, a 1, and a 1. Ooh, and a legendary loot and a common loot. I don't have enough room for this. There we go. That looks pretty good, I guess. All right, so the legendary loot first, farthest away as possible. Then the common loot. And then it's a 5, a 1, and a 1, and on the farthest away thing. So we've got a Skeever. The rod is the same as the Hag Raven, where once you kill him, he gives you one of those over fatigue things. And Rush means if he doesn't attack on his turn, he moves again. And then I got that High Elf Bandit with dodge. We've seen him before. And an Imperial Bandit who just has freeze. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't think I messed this up any other time, but I actually stopped spawning because my current experience value is 6. So once I get to 6, I don't spawn the last things. Yeah, this guy never comes out. Can't hear what the heck. I still have 1 action left, so boop. Which gets me, we're on 3+ now. And the adventurer's turn phase immediately. That's okay. Oh, and heal each adventurer to full hit points. That part doesn't matter. And okay, I got a 4th one of these. I mean, I think I'm doing awesome. I don't know. And it's all really thanks to stealth, because holy crud, otherwise I would be in trouble here. So remember, the enemies all still move toward me. So she goes there, then where's a 5? They go there. This rat goes here, then moves again. This guy over here is chasing me. Okay, now we get to the ones. The Draugr is trying to reach there. They're trying to get like the fastest way that they could get within targeting range of me. And when everyone's in stealth and they can't see anybody, they just move toward the closest unit, even if they're already in range. So like the High Elf, wow, I'm kind of surrounded, aren't I? Hi, everybody. All right, that takes us to fatigue round. I take a over fatigue and automatic damage. So I'm down to 4, but at the end of this round, the Delve will automatically finish anyway. So I just got to stem the bleeding. That comes back. I'm not in stealth anymore, and my fatigue, my regular one, goes away. Whenever over fatigue would be recovered, it sucks so much. It just uses up the cooldown stat, and then it goes back. So like if it was like this and I had 3 cooldown, I would go 1, 2, whoop, hello again. And yeah, it just keeps on sitting there until you can rest or go to a town. I see, what the heck am I going to do? Let's see, I might as well shoot somebody for free. Oh, the Draugr took another damage automatically. So yeah, he's ugly. Let's go ahead and shoot him 1 for free. Ha ha ha. Then I can move 3 spaces, which isn't necessarily going to stop me from getting shot a whole lot, is it? Yeah, at this point, I wish I had some way to move more. And I really want to kill the Hag Raven because she's going to plink me no matter where she is. So yeah. Well, let's do this. I think it's probably the best I can do. Let's move here. Oh, that's right. If I shoot the Hag Raven, she's just going to use her stupid rod on me and give me another over fatigue. So never mind. Let's just block with my 2 block dice and see what fate brings me. Okay, I can block. Hey, 3. That was pretty good. A 2 and a 1. You know what? I'll also go and use 2 of my tenacity from 5 to use Hawkeye. I heal for hit points equal to the number of enemies within your range, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unfortunately, healing effects only let you go up to maximum health, so I'm just going to go back up to 5. There are other effects in the game that can let you get bonus hit points or even exceed your health stat until the end of the battle. No such luck here. All right, let's see what fate has to offer. So Hag Raven's first. She's already in range. She's going to shoot me for 2. Bring it on, lady. I ain't afraid of you. I ain't afraid. Oh, I'm definitely not afraid. I'll block that with my 1 defense. Okay, and then we got the 5. So Wood Elf Marauder is going to come in here and attack me for 3. And then I'll have to drain 1 combat die, which is fine. I can use the one that's already on my cooldown track, which actually, funnily enough, helps me because drained dice get recovered automatically. So it won't use up one of my cooldowns. That's 4. I'll block 2 of it. So I'm down to 3 life, but not many more people can reach me, right? Let's see. Ooh, I can have the Skeever go 1, 2, and then he rushes over again and doesn't attack, but he's taken up a spot. And that means the only one who can still hit me is the High Elf Bandit for 1. I'm going to survive. I mean, not like well, but oh, you freaking come on, dude! Look at that. So there is a thing where once per encounter, you can have your guild help you out, and you can reset the round die. You get like all your dice back. You get all your hit points back. But here, I mean, it's fine. I was going to literally end the combat either way. It just means that I really need to heal back at town instead of it maybe being an option. All right, so yay, I win. I get 2 experience, and let's see what B18 says. You placed as many beacons as you could, but your way was blocked by an unusual coterie of Blackreach inhabitants before you could complete the job. The beacons seemed to infuriate your attackers, almost as if they had a special interest in keeping their home uncharted. You decide that the only thing to do is prepare for combat and return underground to finish your work. You've heard of some top-notch weapon enchanters in a few of Eastern Skyrim settlements, but you don't have time to visit them all. Specialized smiths at Jorun's Stand can alter armaments to restore your life force. Miners at Shore's Stone know how to enhance weapons to deal more damage against the creatures of the deep. The bards of Skald's Retreat have developed techniques that supernaturally reinforce weapon durability. Which of these boons would be most useful? All right, so the Draugr and the Hagraven go away. They were just like sort of pulled out ones for those special effects. And we got to go to one of those 3 places and have a town encounter, they say by day 8. We have to take a group town action, which means each player would have to spend one of their 2 town actions to do it. Okay, and then let's see. Jorun's Stand would make my bow or whatever weapon heal for 1, or if I had multiple weapons and engage with different ones each time, I could heal for more. Oh my god, Shore's Stone is crazy. Each skill die that deals damage to specifically creatures and like spellcaster enemies would deal an extra damage. Each die? I mean, it's kind of luck whether I would get any of those. What's the last one? The first time a weapon is overtaxed, turn it on its side, but do not discard it. It may be overtaxed a second time, after which it's discarded as normal. If it is not overtaxed a second time at the end of the delve, restore it to its upright position and do not discard it. Oh, that's cool. Now, these all only apply to the final encounter of the quest, which I'll have to do by day 12. It would be cool. You get an experience just for doing a town action as well. That's nice. See, out of those, I think the one I would want to do is the Shore's Stone one, which is over here, not too far to get in 4 rounds. Oh, and by the way, in the rest phase, I could get rid of the over fatigue and get exactly 1 hit point back. Basically, that brings you back from the brink. And when the whole party or an adventurer are defeated, they still rest normally. I just go back to 1 hit point. I still can get rid of the over fatigue with my 1 rest. But clearly, I got to go to a town to visit an inn. And also on a full party defeat, you automatically teleport to the closest town, which is nice. Although, very important question. Okay, good. These towns would be open the next round. Or I can go all the way to Mistwatch if I just wanted to have, be closer to the town and have more time to do stuff. And how about for my reward step? What do I want to do for the 3 experience? I still don't have a second skill track. Going to the town would certainly help that out. But I think I would spend 2 to get... I want another bow die. So my level 2 actions, Volley. Deal a total of 4 damage, distribute as you choose among enemies adjacent to you. Then place yourself in an unoccupied hex 2 to 4 hexes away from your current hex. Now, importantly, this is not quite as good as it might seem if there aren't that many enemies on the board. Let me show you why with some of our leftover Delve friends. So remember, at the start of your engagement, you have to pick someone who's targetable, and neither of them would be in the ranged combat form because I'm next to both of them. So if I rolled Volley along with my snipe dice, for example, I could do the Volley, hurt them, move away, but I couldn't use my basic snipe dice, my basic attack dice on them because I didn't target them at the beginning. So I'd have to take another engagement and a fatigue to shoot them, or ideally, if it was more like this, then I could start my turn, target that guy, use the Volley to do 4 damage to this guy, run away, and then still shoot regular dice at that guy. And then my other one, select up to 3 targetable enemies, roll 2d6 for each, apply a Bane status die to each enemy for whom you roll a total of 7 or higher. Now again, they have to be targetable. 3 enemies in solo is a little tough to come by. And even though a 7 is more than 50% chance, that's not great. And Bane dice do 1 true damage to them at the start of every turn. So yeah, honestly, I think I would go for the Volley die. And that costs 2 experience. I can save the other one. And that would now open me up to level 3 training, so I could get, there's a bunch of them. Vine Dust training, there's up to 2 of these dice, by the way. You put it in your active slot, and then at the start of your turn, you can exhaust this die to recover up to 2 bow skill dice, or 3 if they're all snipe dice, the basic ones. Which is okay. Doesn't seem that great, because you are still exhausting another die, so you're kind of getting 2... I mean, I guess if you have 3 snipe dice, it's really good. Rapid Fire, deal 2 damage to your target for each snipe die in your cooldown track prior to this engage, or deal 2 damage to your target for each snipe die in your cooldown track prior to this engage, then recover those dice, replacing them with light fatigue. Now, the prior to this engage part is annoying because if I rolled Rapid Fire with my snipe dice, its power wouldn't activate. I have to wait until they're already on my cooldown or do one engage to snipe and then another one for Rapid Fire. Then finally, Arrow Barrage. Deal 2 damage to your target, then choose either roll Arrow Barrage again or exhaust it. And that's a 2/3 chance. So you can keep on Arrow Barraging and do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 damage. On a 1 out of 6, you must resolve this result. You are dealt 2 true damage and lets you drain all skilled dice rolled during this engage. Oh my god. And there's also a 1/6 chance of just rolling a basic tenacity and not continuing the barrage. And then finally, you get Scattershot. All damage dealt to your target this engage may also be dealt to another targetable enemy. Defense ignored as a result of snipe dice may also be ignored for this enemy. Wow. Wow. That's really good. See, I could see me going probably for like Arrow Barrage Scattershot after Volley. The most you can ever get in a given line is 6 dice, because I could untrain my my Magicka. And you can place these wherever you want, by the way, so I could have had, like, Magicka over here to start if I didn't think I would get my stamina that high. But yeah, we're going to stop there. Like I said, the game takes a while, especially when you're explaining things. So I'd probably do a few more fights and peaceful encounters. I mean, day 5, I would definitely rest. Day 6, probably do a fight there. Day 7, probably do that there. Day 8, go to that town. And with all those friggin' beacons I got and my souped-up weapons, I think I'd be in a good place. Who knows? But yeah, I will do another playthrough. Not the end of this particular session, but I'm going to show you what a level 3, like, final boss fight session looks like. I'm going to continue playing and level up my Wood Elf to crazy extents, and that'll probably come out like in another week, and then I'll have my actual review of the game that week or the following week. And at the end of many of our videos, I'd like to thank our biggest Patreon supporters, the ones who do the most to keep the channel going. They are J. Willie MF, Steve Wren, and Pedro Lucas. Thank you all so much, and everybody else, good gaming, and we'll see you at the next stop.